All right, this week in Destiny, December 12th, 2024. This week in Destiny, we're getting cozy for the holidays with some baking, not only for the dawning, but also for ourselves. After all, we can only deliver so many classic butter cookies before wanting some for ourselves. With holidays upon us, this is our final TWID of the year. Nice, we love that. Go get some holidays. We love that, man. Get everybody out of the office. Get everybody not worried about work. I love that Bungie does that like every year. If there's one good thing Bungie does every year, it's get everybody out of the office and stop worrying about this. So W Bungie, we don't need a TWID. Everybody else needs to be focusing on other things for the holidays. But with that, here comes the last one for the year. All right, so we got the topics for the week, closing out 2024, looking ahead to 2025, Act 3 balance updates, Bungie store for the holidays, dawning fashion thing, the dawning bake-off, Bungie Foundation with the year in review, and then this week's D2 fashion feedback update. All right, closing out the year strong. This year is winding down, but it's not done yet. Let's finish off strong and take a look at a few things to put on your calendar so you don't miss a beat in the following weeks. We have a Zoomy coming up with the Grandmaster Nightfall, so they're giving us our weekly update for next week. It looks like that's pretty cool. We're getting a Depth Summoner for Trials of Osiris this weekend. Very cool. For those of you that don't have one, 2 Crucible Lab modes. The 2 Crucible Lab modes are going to be Hardware Supremacy, which means you shall fight for Crest, focusing on your gunplay as ability regeneration is disabled. W. Finally, to close out the year, we've got the return of doubles with 2v2 clash. We were literally just talking about this, weren't we? The old Crucible game mode where you had 2 people, 2v2s for Valentine's Day. Crimson Days? Well, yeah, Crimson Days. Back whenever they used to do Crimson Days and stuff like that. We love that, man. I wish we could do it. Yeah, they used to do Crimson Days, man. So grabbing a buddy and hopping in, this kind of reminds you of those Crimson Days. So it's pretty awesome. So good to do that. All right, looking ahead, coming back with a bang in 2025, we've got some big things happening right out of the gate. Let's take a look at what you can look forward to at the start of the new year. Act 3 starts on January 7th. Revenant Act 3 launches on January 7th. With it comes the conclusion of the Revenant storyline, as well as a new exotic mission. So another exotic mission. We love that. New weapons and one last row of the artifact perks. We'll have more details as we get closer to release, so keep an eye out and make sure you're following the @Destiny Game for updates over on Twitter. We have a new dungeon coming on February 7th, so not January 7th, February 7th. We've got a new dungeon coming for you on February 7th, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We'll have more details to share in the new year concerning dungeon race rules, but for now, start gathering your fire team and save the date. So we're doing another dungeon race. I assume it's going to be another contest mode. That one did very well. Some people were not as pleased with the contest mode dungeon, but I enjoyed it. I think it was a good new update for the dungeons, the new release and stuff like that. So it's going to be awesome having the dungeon race. It doesn't say anything about specifically contest mode, but I assume they'll do it again. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's nice having a contest mode. Iron Banner final 2 weeks. Iron Banner will return on January 14th. Those of you still looking for the rolls on the fantastic Tanasha's Mastery rocket sidearm have another chance. Don't sleep on the reprised Archon Thunder either. Adept Prophet Trials of Osiris. So starting on 31st, you'll be able to get the Prophet on Trials of Osiris. Don't really use that for anything myself, but you know, if you guys want it, go grab it. Revenant Act 3 weapon and armor balance updates. All right, so we got some weapon and armor balance updates going right here. Sidearms, heavy burst sidearms are going to increase body shot damage by 30 to 33. From 30 to 33, and then increase critical hit damage from 48 to 52.8. Little buff for the sidearms. We love that. We use a lot of rocket sidearms now, so I don't know how much we're going to notice the heavy burst sidearms getting a buff, because every time you, in PvE anyway, whenever you're using sidearms, you're usually doing rocket sidearms now. We'll see how much that really helps out anybody. Submachine guns, general SMGs are currently struggling in both PvE and PvP, so they're combating that. Increased magazine size by approximately 10%. That's a W, honestly. I feel like every SMG that I have always runs out of ammo, so this is all SMGs, not dependent on frame. All SMGs are getting a 10% magazine increase. That's huge, because I feel like whenever they dropped the damage a while ago, they never really gave anything in return, and I feel like the ammo economy is very good on that. I think that's a W update. good direction, not just buffing the damage, but buffing the magazine size. Auto rifles, rapid fires are increasing damage slightly to remove a resilience gate from their optimal time to kill. Increased body shot damage from 13.5 to 13.6. That is literally minuscule. All of this 0.1 is minuscule for the rapid fires, but I like to see the fine tuning rather than the drastic jump. So I think this is good. Feel like it's not killing fast enough. Just tune it a little bit. See if that gets it where you want it. So rather than just jumping straight to we're gonna make these things kill, you know, a full second faster, you know. Pulse rifles, high impacts. We've heard the feedback in the hands of the highly skilled players. High impact pulse rifles can feel oppressive. We're removing their last bit of baked-in forgiveness, requiring them to hit 6 crits to achieve their optimal time to kill. Okay. So reduce the body shot damage from 21 to 21.5, reduce critical hit damage from 39.6 to 38.7, and reduce ADS fall off scalar from 1.7 to 1.6. For those of you that are usually getting trashed on by these pulse rifles in PvP, I felt it while we've been playing Iron Banner. Pulse rifles are really heavily leaned on in PvP right now, so I feel like bringing them down just a little bit is definitely good to kind of swing that meta away a little bit. Lightweight frames are getting an increase though, to kind of go towards that swing, getting away from the high impact to some lightweights, getting some more mix going on in there. This is a huge buff to lightweight frames, by the way. The body shot damage anyway. Critical damage, not so much. It's definitely a good increase. But the body shot damage is a huge upgrade, so we like to see that. Precision hand cannons. Okay, precision hand cannons have seen a small bump in usage and effectiveness with the recent buff to body shot damage, but we wanted to lean harder into the fantasy of the intrinsic perk. This change will affect Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, and Malfeasance. Okay, Luna's Howl. The intrinsic hand cannon precision frame now reduces your ADS movement speed penalty by 10%. Okay, so jiggle peeking in PvP. We like that. We'll take it. Scout rifles, lightweight. For a brief period, we buffed lightweight scouts, bringing down their body shot time to kill. So they wanted to increase that back, increase body shot damage by 32 to 38. And increase critical hit damage from 64 to 64.6. Sniper rifles in general, we're continuing to work to reduce the visual flinch experienced by sniper rifles and Crucible to a more reasonable level, which, I mean, you know, if you're aiming down sights with a sniper rifle, it almost feels like you can't even hit a shot as soon as you get hit once. So you just have to bail out. The intent is to maintain the difficulty of shooting through flinch to allow for counterplay. I'd like to be able to shoot through a flinch in any way. That would be great, without it feeling too jarring to be damaged with while scoped in. Okay, so they wanted to remain challenging, but they also don't want you to be too easy. I can see the dilemma there. It's going to be tough, but they're reducing the camera roll component of flinch against players by 20%. So that might be enough. 20% of a reduced flinch that might be enough. Whisper of the Worm, we have further reduced the flinch experience by Whisper of the Worm to compensate for it being a heavy weapon. Yeah, this is a damage weapon. Using this as a damage weapon, we should not be getting flinched like crazy, to be honest, while we're trying to do a damage rotation. Reduce the camera roll component of flinch against players by 50%. So that's actually huge. So while you're sitting there doing damage on Oryx and you're getting absolutely mauled by a bunch of Thrall, you're not going to be jarring all over the place while you're trying to do damage. That's W. Because nobody's going to use Whisper of the Worm anywhere but mostly there. So that's good. A couple weapon perk updates. Skulking Wolf. We felt like the Iron Banner Origin perk could use an effect to make it worthwhile in PvE, and we think this addition is in line with the fantasy of the perk itself. The perk description string will be updated in future release to reflect the new functionality. Now it activates in PvE and makes enemies slightly less accurate in targeting you when active. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. I'd be excited to see how that plays out. Like, do we just turn these guys into stormtroopers where they're missing every shot in PvE? Because there's sometimes when those snipers are shooting at you, they do not miss. So if this is active, are you going to get a few missed shots, make it easy to cross little traversal areas without getting absolutely gunned down by some enemies? I think that'll be cool. I'd like to see how that works out. Target lock. We're making changes to target lock. Okay, with the increased magazine size in SMGs, keeping this perk in its nerf state rendered it effectively useless. Okay, keep an eye on how this perk changes the strength of SMGs in Crucible, and we're interested to see how it performs along. So remove the custom tuning to make perk less effective on SMGs are coming back to Crucible. 100% SMGs are coming back to Crucible. They removed the custom tuning to make the perk less effective on SMGs. So they basically brought target lock back to SMGs. This is actually huge. I think whenever we did the subathon, somebody made me delete my God Roll Immortal Adept, and I'm kind of mad now. I wasn't as mad then, but I'm kind of mad now because now I have to get another one. Exotic weapons. Graviton Lance is arguably the strongest primary weapon in the game when viewed across both PvE and PvP. I won't really debate that. That actually seems pretty accurate. I've never thought about that. While it's not proving to be a problem, too problematic in high skill Crucible lobbies, it is dominating lower and middle skill lobbies. That's not fair. Okay, I get it though. You know what, I guess we fit in that category, whatever. Anyways, moving on. As well as seeing extremely high uptime and potency in all levels of PvE content, as such, it needs to be brought more in line for both sandboxes. So it seems that the broken RPM that they had on Graviton Lance that one time is actually going to be the new RPM. It's not that big of a deal, but it does suck. We definitely noticed it whenever they did it. They just called it a crutch weapon. Yeah, well, I was kind of mad because I felt like it was a problem, but then they said it's not a problem in high skill lobbies. It's a problem in lower and middle skill lobbies. So I basically said it was a problem and then read the line basically saying that it's not a problem if you got skill. So this gun feels we're malfeasance. We're on to malfeasance now. I'm done with Graviton. I'm done. Malfeasance. This gun feels noticeably different to shoot compared to other 180 hand cannons because it was missing some of the intrinsic benefits provided by the precision perk. Added the remaining intrinsic effects from the precision hand cannon perk, including accuracy bonuses and the new ADS movement speed penalty reduction. So Malfeasance got a little bit of a buff visually and intrinsically with the ADS and the accuracy bonuses. So that's gonna be cool. We love that. I definitely use Malfeasance a lot. I haven't as much because we don't really have a need to use it in GMs right now with the way Titans are. But whenever I'm running Hunter and GMs, I usually love to run my Malfeasance a lot. So I can't wait to see how that works out if we get back into a season where that's kind of relevant. And then exotic armor. This is for the Titan exotic armor piece or exotic class item. So Spirit of Alpha Lupi. The healing impulse was tuned around Barricade, which has significantly less uptime than Thruster. Now that Alpha Lupi can work with Thruster, we needed to branch the effect's strength accordingly. Reduced heal impulse when using Thruster to 30 HP that can roll over into shields. Okay, so basically, if you're using Thruster, you're not going to get as much healing as you would like off of that. Which I've been using this. I've been actually abusing this. I have an Alpha Lupi one with Syntheseps. Is it Alpha Lupi and Syntheseps? I believe so, which is really good. Or is it Alpha Lupi and I think it might have been Alpha Lupi and Star Eater. I'm not sure. Anyways, I forget where I have Alpha Lupi, but I have been using this and I did like that you could heal whenever using your thrusters. So I can't wait to see how this feels. Hopefully it's not too bad. And then we got the Bungie store for the holidays. We got some ornaments here and things like that. Some gifts, some pins and things. This is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Y'all remember like back in the day you used to play with those like little tech decks and stuff like that? There you go. That's pretty cool, right? Is this like an actual one? Is this an actual board? No, this is an actual board. This is a big board. Oh my gosh, because I saw the little thing on there. I don't want that on my finger, dude, and get that thing off there. There's no way this is an actual board. That's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. Last City Lumino. Ooh. Dawning Fashion. All right, we got Sullivan here in the cave, man. We like that. Okay, I don't know about that one. That one's kind of miss. How does an ice cream cone have anything to do with the Christmas? You know what I'm saying? Like, who be doing this? Okay, all right, there we go. I get the Candy Cane Hunter here. That's pretty cool. Oh, we got the baking. Honestly, whenever I'm looking at these, Sully wins it. 100% Sully wins it, especially the reenactment of this scene. See, I'm just trying to find a good. That's pretty good. I like the Hunter symbol. That's pretty nice. Oh man, the Witness. That's pretty funny. Man, look at the tonics, man. We love that. That's really cool. Glimmer you can eat is hilarious. Got the Gallardoodles, dude. Let's go. And the Traveler Donut Holes. Guys, I didn't even know there was an actual like cookbook to make these. I think I need the wife to make some of these. Anyways, beautiful. All right, beautiful stuff. Bungie Foundation to look back at 2024. Little Lights program expansion, scholarships for a brighter future. Granting wishes that spark joy, supporting humanitarian causes. Guys, if you guys do not know that Bungie Foundation is doing so much with their whole community, everybody that plays Destiny, anytime you're like buying emblems and stuff like that, so much stuff is going back to the communities. Anytime this is a disaster, The Bungie Foundation is getting after it. If you guys don't know about it, go read all this. Go look at everything they're doing. Go look up the Bungie Foundation. Find what all causes that they've been helping with. These guys are amazing. And I absolutely love that we play a game that has a program like this for everybody to get involved. That's one of my favorite things about playing Destiny, to be honest. D2 fashion feedback, player support reports, all this dawning event. This is all the stuff that we've been going through with the bugs and fixes and stuff like that. We've been keeping up with all of that. Guys, huge updates right here. Honestly, let's go back up here and let's look really quick. Big things, increased magazine size for the SMGs, and then also gave target lock back to the SMGs. This is huge. Graviton Lance is getting actually nerfed based off of, not based off of, is going back to what it was whenever we thought it was quote unquote broken. It's our greatest fears have been realized. They actually wanted to reduce the RPM of the weapon, and that was just, it got through in an early patch, and we didn't like that. Get used to it. You're not gonna like it. They're bringing it down because it is honestly an overpowered PvE weapon. What else do we have? New dungeon, February 7th. That's huge. Probably one of the biggest things in the TWID right now. We literally just had a dungeon, and that's the next thing we're getting again. That'll get us back on track for the release of the next quote unquote smaller DLC. We're actually gonna probably have a raid that comes with that then. So that gets us back on track in our rotation, since we did have a delay on the final shape this past year. So this gets us back on track by releasing 2 dungeons back-to-back. Act 3 starts in January. We know that. That's pretty much it, man. Awesome TWID. I'm excited to see what the new dungeon brings. Everybody go ahead and mark your calendars, February 7th at 9 a.m. Go ahead and request off work if you're trying to do that day 1 dungeon race, all right? That does it for the TWID. If you enjoyed the video or found it informative, please make sure you like, comment, and share it with a friend. Tell somebody you love them this holiday season, and we'll see you in the next one.